to, maybe.
Okay, we'll do it differently then.
Well,
But never mind, Jack, just send it back to me and I'll send it through again.
Okay.
we can't follow directions.
It's okay.
Uh-oh.
You guys.
I put my name somewhere in the.
I just went directly over.
What's your name, Nate? Hey, Mr. Nate.
I'm Mr. Nate. Over the summer I worked at a place called CAR, the Center for Automotive Research, it's OSU's. So my design challenge is going to be revolving around like cars. And essentially what they're going to be building is just like a little car, like a little, either a derby car or something. So they're going to have random materials that they'll put together, something that kind of looks like a wheel and they'll attach it on. So with the whole goal being to get as far along as possible with the fan blowing against them. So some of our ideas are having it roll down a ramp and see how close it can get to the fan without getting blown away.
Oh, they're gonna love this stuff. Oh, that's good. They're gonna love this stuff. To me, it's just so simple.
Yeah.
It's so simple.
There's
and
a lot
it's,
that they can do with it.
right. And I'm not downplaying it by saying simple. To me, simple is good, and the fact that they can have success. You know, you don't want to give kids something that it's going to take a long time before they can have some success with it, because that'll turn them off. So that's why I said simple, because to me, simple is a good thing in that activity. I can just see it myself and like, oh, you know. So that immediate gratification, I think, is something to think about just hearing that project. It looked like you wanted to.
Yeah.
What's your name?
I'm Josh.
Hi, Mr. Josh.
So this summer I worked with polymers, and polymers are really, really large molecules. And so I'm going to teach them about polymers and how they're found in everyday items, such as plastic, styrofoam. And then I'm at my design challenge, they're going to create their own parachute. And there's going to be a testing phase where they like blow a hairdryer on it to see like breaks or like tears. And the second phase will like be dropping it from height, and we'll have like a Lego man on it, and to see like if it passes or fails.
Now, I want to throw like something to think about out there, and hearing that. So like right now, you have me excited just by this brief little overview of what's to come. Is that something we should do in the classroom? Like to start off by saying, in my group, we're going to do this, and it's like already got them like, ooh, I can't wait for that to start, but not get too much, because of course we want the whole open-endedness and everything.
So what's going to happen is that second time we come to visit and we break out into those 6 different classrooms, that's going to be their main chance to introduce themselves and what they worked on, and they can give a little snippet about what's coming in the next 4 weeks.
Sounds good.
Okay, so that's a great thing to emphasize for that day.
Yeah, you two get me excited.
All right, cool.
Hey, ladies,
You're
what are the ladies' plannings?
Yeah, that's right.
So I worked in a nanoengineering biodesign lab.
What's your name?
I'm Molly.
Molly, hi, Miss Molly.
Miss Molly Malika.
Yeah, I actually volunteer at the West Side Boys and Girls Club,
Okay.
and they call me Miss Molly there, and it's still weird. I've been volunteering there for like almost a year, and it's still a little bit weird.
You know
being
Nick?
called Miss Molly.
Mr. Nick? You know,
I don't know
he
Mr.
drops
Nick. I
every
know
now and then.
Mr. Kevin and
Okay.
Miss Shayla
Okay.
and Mr. Delmar.
Yeah. Okay.
And I did work with cell signaling, so basically studying the way that cells talk to each other and how that influences how your cells protect your body from invaders or bacteria, viruses, cancer, stuff like that. And so I'm going to be, with a teaching goal being that your cells talk to each other, and sometimes they send signals that we need to block in order to treat things, like we want to block cancer cell signaling. So it's going to be, mine is going to be something that has to do with blocking a signal as it's being passed, and creating a barrier to block a signal being passed.
That's a good application, like, you know, applying that then to cells. Like I see the higher order thinking, you know, teachers, we look at the thinking skill behind that, and you're making them apply something else to this other skill. Like, I don't know if you follow me.
Yeah,
yeah, that's really interesting, really interesting.
Some of the concepts, like Molly's got a great one here, but how we're gonna follow through with that, we still gotta kind of figure that one out.
Right. We got some work to do still.
Yeah, we still have
Well,
work to do.
is it something with sound or like, I don't know, or?
Well,
Cells send signals chemically, electrically, but we were thinking of potentially like a ball being passed, and they have to stand a certain distance away, and or maybe multiple balls being passed. So maybe if we had, ping pong balls and little beach balls and a bunch of different types of signals being passed, and they have to block a certain one and
Okay.
create some sort of system that blocks ping pong balls from being passed because those are the bad signals while
Okay.
letting all the other ones through. That sort of thing. So
So I think it's important to know that the space that you're in a classroom, but every door of the classroom, there's 3 on this side and 3 on this side, and in the middle is a giant empty space.
okay.
Is probably wider than this room. So like if you needed to come out of your room and have like a larger group space, is there like right outside your door. And then there's like where this chalkboard is, it's like a little office, but then on the back side is like a half big open space. Like that if a group needed to go back there and do something. So just FYI, you made me think about that.
that's cool. Awesome. Anybody else want to share with her?
So I'm Elsa, and this summer I worked in the environmental engineering research lab. And I was working with nanomaterials and looking at where they end up in the environment and what they do once they get there. So what we're gonna do is, I'm focusing on filtering out bad stuff from other stuff. So kind of similar to what you're talking about. But mine, I'm basically gonna have a box full of different kinds of balls, so like tennis balls, ping pong balls, marbles, and they're gonna get like an empty box that's open on top and open on the bottom, and they have to construct something inside the box to filter out the bad stuff
Okay.
as it gets poured from the top.
And the bad stuff is the smaller things or?
It's gonna be a medium-sized one,
Okay.
but it's gonna be covered in Velcro, so they can get creative with Velcro and inside their box to try and catch all the bad stuff.
It's really good. Have you all seen that little YouTube clip with the escalator and the people are on the escalator and it stops and they start freaking out instead of walking and they pull out their cell phones and start, we gotta call somebody. Well, I showed that video to my staff because like I wanna increase the amount of critical thinking because I can see our kids ending up that way. An elevator stops and they're pulling out cell phone instead of thinking just to walk, But so like these activities to me are so much tapping into that critical thinking, and that is something I absolutely am a proponent of, making the students think, because sadly thinking skills are declining. Yes.
Maybe you could talk a little bit and give some advice about materials or different
Okay.
things to control a classroom, to have them really energetic and engaged, but to not lose control, because there's going to be some activities that if we were to do it incorrectly, they would just, oh my gosh, there's balls flying everywhere, they're playing tennis.
Right now, I think we need to learn like our signal that we use to get everyone's attention, and we just do a clap, and you're gonna go. So you will do what I just did, and that will stop the room 2 times at the most, like to get them to stop. So everybody should learn that clap, and that is a signal that's used universal in our school to just stop everything in motion, and they're looking like, what do you have to say? So I think, is that what
That's
you're
great.
getting at?
Yeah, what else about so let's say they're doing what they're supposed to be doing, we don't need them to just completely stop, but just to keep them directed, like are there certain things, like I worked with St. Stephen's over the summer,
Okay.
and I found out that balloons were just a big waste of time,
Okay.
because they just played with them constantly.
And you're saying to help prevent them from getting off task.
Yeah.
I would just say, and I started moving because I immediately just think of moving around the activities and just your presence, even if they're off task, I would think they're trying to straighten up and look like they're on task, when you move to them. So, I mean, and we call it proximity, it's a term for educators, talking about you have to move around to the students, move around the room. So just that proximity, getting closer to, if someone looks off task, you need to do that.
Okay, great. That's perfect.
And definitely the signal, even if you do a light one, if the room kind of just a lighter clap, if it's just like, all right, I want to just make sure everyone's focused, and then focus, like a little, smile with it. So, because I know you all don't want to come there and have to deal with like coming, so that's why you just put a smile with it, but just always make sure you get what you want. And that's, my principal said that to me recently. Just always make sure you get what you want. You can put a smile on it.
That's great. Does anybody else want to share and maybe ask questions about your design projects?
I'll share.
Okay.
I'm Jack.
Hey, Mr. Jack.
Hi. I studied something called microencapsulation, which is really just taking something really small and then wrapping it up in something else.
Okay.
So I did that for cancer drugs and for stem cells, and the basic idea is that like through different size constraints, it can help the stem cells or cancer drugs work better in your body.
Okay.
So my design challenge is then having either a golf ball or marble or something roll through a course that I've made that's kind of a maze that the ball is covered in Velcro. So it's rolling through this course, and Velcro is supposed to, throughout the course, is supposed to emulate the immune system. And if your ball sticks to the Velcro, then obviously the immune system's caught it. So they're going to have to encapsulate, like I did in my lab, they're going to have to encapsulate the ball that they're rolling through so that it can get through the whole course, missing all the Velcro, and then also meet certain size constraints. So there'll be different holes it'll have to pass through that are of certain sizes. So it'll have to be small enough that it can not go through some holes, large enough that it does go through some holes, depending on where the holes are.
That sounds really interesting. And I want, again, these projects alone will capture the kids' attention. I had an engineering group, I forget their little acronym, but they came last year and it was called Engineer for a Day. And so they just planned different, like 4 little mini stations with, I guess, challenges, projects, engineering type projects. And just our kids just to get their hands on something. They were on task and they just enjoyed the challenge, and then to see what their teammate came up with. So just the projects alone and the hands-on and what you all are coming up with the kids are gonna love it.
So I have just a question for everyone here. I don't know how this is set up. So these are being delivered as a team, but how about the Kipsters? Are they working in groups, or are they working individually? Or does that vary?
Usually pairs, groups of 2. That's what we did over the summer, but there's a little bit to be, like, so our classrooms are gonna have about 10 people,
Okay.
right? That's from
Plenty
what I
of
heard,
room. Yeah.
for each room,
Yes.
So you could work with 10, that's a fairly small number, but you can pair them up. Just know that you're gonna wanna pair them up with non-friends, and you're gonna wanna make sure that they're like really working well together. So it depends.
And that's just another trick, like working in pairs, students prefer, but you might have a kid who wants to work alone. So, but typically kids love working with each other now. They're more cooperative. You're more cooperative, than I was in school.
Molly had a question?
I was just gonna ask, do you suggest pairing them up or letting them choose their partner when you're doing a group activity?
Letting them choose.
I'm different.
Why? What came into my mind was after school.
Oh, yeah,
So
that's right.
I think in a classroom, a school teacher probably would assign and be much more strict than that. But if it doesn't work, if you allow people to choose and you feel like it's not working, like, your staff person can maybe, you know, work with if someone needs to be moved or anything like that, but, you know, just typically just trying to give them to that social environment that they don't get during the day is kind of always in the back of my mind. So that's why I said, let them choose. So, but we can look and see how that works. If it doesn't work,
Yeah, makes sense for next time.
scrap it.
Can you talk now a little bit about the different age groups, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th?
You heard Kipsters. We do call them Kipsters. So we actually do call them Kipsters, our Kipsters. And I think you're basically saying there's, to me, a big difference in like the 5th and 6th graders and the 7th and 8th graders. So when I make the groups, I will have them separated, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th. Our 5th, 6th graders, to me, they are just fresh and whatever you say, ma'am. You know, they are just look at you and just whatever you say. They are so innocent. I don't know, I feel like our kids are coming to us more and more innocent. They're just so innocent, whatever you say, so malleable. And then our 7th and 8th grade, our 7th graders are like, are you talking about like generally speaking, like I'm saying?
Yeah.
So our 7th graders to me are the goofballs. So they're the goofy ones, and they're not, and our school is divided in 2 floors, lower school, upper school. So our 5th and 6th graders are downstairs, our 7th and 8th graders are upstairs, and that translates to like different behaviors to me, where our 5th and 6th graders are our babies, they act like babies, and then our 7th and 8th graders, they think they're running the show. However, our 7th graders are still in the little silly mode, but they distance themselves like from 5th and 6th graders. And then our 8th graders, you know, they just think they're just all that. Fortunately, our athletes won't be part of our project because they have a whole different thing going on, you know, elitism that we deal with after school. So, so just a general like character analysis of the group as a whole. But like I said, we're fortunate that our basketball players are not with us. Maybe I shouldn't say that, but yeah.
So will each of the teams know what level, whether they, you know,
Yeah.
they don't know that now, but they will before they.
You already have them split up, right?
No, I don't.
No.
I haven't made the groups yet, but that's very easy to
Why
do.
don't you do that?
And just know that I'll have a group that's 6, 7, 8.
I think you mentioned something quirky about 6th graders, though.
Well, in the past, I felt like our 6th graders were always the most challenging, but that's not the case this year.
Really?
It's a different feel, and I think it's moved up to 7. So those are the quirky, like goofballs that were our 6th graders, but our new 6th graders, they're just like our 5th graders, like so focused, so, like I said, whatever you say, they're going to do. Like,
So if the brave souls of this group really want a good challenge, they request 7th grade.
yes.
7th, 8th grade?
Yes.
8th grade harder, 7th grade harder?
7th grade. Why? Just because of that. They're still like in between. There's something about them. You know, we just had our high school fair yesterday, and those schools that I mentioned and many others, they actually come to our school and set up in our gym for our 7th and 8th graders to meet them. And it was just, oh man, I had tears in my eyes. So impressive, you know, to just dress our students up and see how they interact, and to go up to these groups with their notepad, taking notes, asking questions about the schools and all that. It was just so impressive, but definitely a difference with the 8th graders because they, you know, next year they're going to high school. So they are a little more mature, a little more focused. They understand that what's happening in this school matters with their high school career and their college career. That is more of a reality for them. So you see that difference there. But yeah, our high school fair was just out of sight yesterday.
That's awesome.
So they're already, a lot of them you can ask now, what high school are you going to? And we do talk that way a lot, you know, making them imagine, to already start to imagine where they're going to be. And so They're telling you what schools, some of them already what colleges, so getting them already looking ahead.
They don't, when they introduce themselves, they say what class of they're in?
The
Is it-
class of so-and-so,
Yeah.
yes.
So
So
is that their
like-
college class graduation? or is that
It's their high school
High school
graduation, the year they're going to college.
But you're going to college?
Yes. So in addition to their homerooms having a college name, 5th grade is the class of 2021. And 6th grade is the class of 2020.
That's so weird.
7th grade is the class of 2019. And our 8th graders, the class of 2018. 2018. And they'll say that like that. So, yes, so they are referred to by the year they are going to college. Good point. That's part of hypnotizing. So they learn that during hypnotizing. You're not an 8th grader, you are 2018, and then they do this little chant where they start low. 2018. And they get louder and louder, and then they start yelling at it. I'm there Monday through Thursday from 10 until 8 is my schedule. If anybody wants to come, just email me, and if you have time during the day, you want to come by and see the kids during class time, it's a big difference than after school, and it's impressive. Anyone that comes into our school absolutely leaves saying, this is a different middle school.
Yeah. I can attest to that.
The
Yeah,
thing
everyone
that
talks
struck
about
me-
the feeling, that they get a certain feeling, and it is different. I felt it when I interviewed, like, whoa, this is different. So I would love for anyone to come by for a tour.
I just want to thank you so much for coming in and speaking with us.
Thank
I
you.
knew that we were excited before you came in, and I feel like we're even more
Yeah.
excited now.
Is that what you mean?
Since we're even more excited now, I think we can all tell how passionate you are about KIF and about your students.
Thank
So
you.
we're very excited to be working with you and all of your students.
Thank you, Miss Molly. That's so nice.
Snap it out.
Yeah.
Thank you.